Hey guys, college football update, week 5. As always, we start with Notre Dame and go from there. So let's start in South Bend with the win over Stanford, 38 to 17. Totally did not think that Notre Dame was going to win this game, let alone dominate Stanford on both lines of scrimmage. It's absolutely unbelievable what Ian Book is doing with this offense and the difference that he makes. I liked Brandon Wimbush, to be honest with you. I liked him in there. I thought he had great athleticism. He was kind of like Everett Golson was. Similar arm and similar accuracy issues and everything else. I kind of liked him. I was like, well, the last time Notre Dame was actually doing anything is when they had Golson at quarterback. So I was like, let's keep Wimbush in there. Let's just hope that they can win, 8 or 9 games and figure it out. Here's what's happening, though. The reality is Ian Book is a really good quarterback. He's a really good college quarterback. I was not thinking he was going to be this good. I would actually compare him, and maybe I said this in previous videos, I would compare him to somebody at Oklahoma State, something like that. He's all he needs to do is just dink it off to the guys, to the players that are around him, and let them make plays, which is exactly what he's doing. And the other thing that he has not done up to this point is made bad decisions. He has not thrown an interception. No doubt he's going to throw 4 of them next week, but he hasn't thrown an interception, just has not turned the ball over. So if you don't do that, and then you leave it in the hands of your defense to clean it up, you're gonna win some games. And the reality is Notre Dame is really good on defense, just incredibly good on defense. To be honest with you, the starting defensive rotation is amazing, and actually they've got a lot of guys that can rotate in on the defensive line as well. They're thin at cornerback, they're thin at linebacker, and that's kind of the issue that they're going to have, I think, as the year goes on. We already saw that Notre Dame lost Alex Bars, their best offensive lineman. The guy was just ginormous, fifth-year senior. Feel really bad for him. They're pretty sure that they've lost him for the year, or at least until the playoffs. But I'll tell you, there's 2 things here. Dexter Williams came in at running back. Dexter Williams was a 4-star running back. He's a senior, great player. He just hasn't had a chance to play a whole lot for one reason or the other. But he got in there, and the first touch he has had for the year, he ran for 45 yards. So, for a touchdown. The guy's dynamic. He's incredible. Here's the difference, though, and this is what I always say. Dexter Williams is great for Notre Dame. There's no doubt about it. The difference between Notre Dame and a team like Ohio State or a team like Alabama especially, Alabama has 6 of those guys. Notre Dame has 1. So that's great. You kind of only need the 1, but it's great to be able to rotate in and out the other 4 or 5. And I think that's the difference. So do I think Notre Dame can make the playoff now? I do, more than I did a couple of weeks ago, that's for sure. But I guess we'll see what happens. So great win for them. We'll just have to see what they can do with it. The other thing I'll just point out real quick, and I watched a ton of Notre Dame games, obviously. I think it's very funny how announcers always say, well, Notre Dame gets 4 and 5-star talent. Notre Dame gets 3 and 4-star talent. They do not normally get 5-star talent. They may have 1 of them on the team. I'm serious. Depending on whether you're looking at Rivals or 24/7 Sports or whatever, I would really love for these guys to do their research, because the reality is most of the guys on Notre Dame's team are 3-star and 4-star guys. Okay? So do your research, know what you're talking about before you come into the game. Because right now, in my mind, they're overachieving. I would love for them to continue to do it, but they're overachieving. They're certainly not Wisconsin talent by any means, but again, they're not, like I've said, they have holes in talent areas that does not put them on the same par as Alabama. But again, we'll see what happens. Moving on to Clemson, this is exactly what they didn't want to happen, right? Was for Trevor Lawrence to go down and then bring up the back end quarterback, and have him have to play. But the reality is, Clemson has an incredible defense as well. They had Etienne is phenomenal. He's great. So all you really had to do was hand it off to him, put it in the hands of the defense, and hope that they could pull it out. And that's exactly what they did. So smart on their part. And the other thing is, Clemson is a victim of their own success. When you have somebody like Trevor Lawrence come in who's otherworldly, other guys are going to leave. So it happens. They figured out a way to win the game, and Syracuse is not that easy to beat. They've got a very tricky offense, and they're getting better on defense. So they actually play defense now, whereas 2 years ago they didn't. So great win for Clemson. Way to get out of there and figure it out. That's all you need to do. You just need to win it, move on. It's not like they played a 1AA team. They weren't playing Furman. They were playing Syracuse. It's pretty good. So, I could see Syracuse winning 8 games this year. So I think that was a good win and a good revenge win as well. Staying in the state of South Carolina, South Carolina loses to Kentucky. I'll be honest with you, I'm not really going to talk about it too much because I did not see it. But I'm not shocked that they lost the game because obviously Kentucky is up and coming. The other thing is that the Kentucky South Carolina game goes either way almost every year. So Kentucky is better this year. So not surprised that they lost it. Again, it doesn't mean that South Carolina is still not going to be able to achieve what they were hoping to achieve, which I think coming into the year was probably 7 or 8 wins. I think they could probably still do that. The Kentucky win would have helped, and normally Kentucky would have been an easier win, I guess, is a way to say it. So South Carolina was coming off the good win against Vandy, just couldn't figure it out at Kentucky. So again, I really didn't get a chance to watch a ton of it, but I'm not surprised they lost that game. Texas, let me just say this about Texas: a good win against Kansas State, but Kansas State is awful on offense, and Texas beat them 19-14. I realized that it was in the Little Apple of Manhattan, which is kind of a tough place to win a game. But do I think Texas is back? No. I mean, define back. I mean, can they win 8 games? Maybe, but is that back for Texas? I don't think so. If you're Texas, you want to win 10, 11, 12 games. You want to make the playoffs. So it takes a while to get there, and it is going to take them a while to get there. So give them time. They're figuring it out. You have to learn how to win first before you can do anything. So, good win. Absolutely not back. And if anybody that says that is ludicrous. So that's not the case. No, Ohio State, Penn State. I did watch a lot of this game, although my game was on at the same time, the Notre Dame game, but I did watch a lot of this game on a side TV. The one thing that I'll say, I have absolutely no idea what that play call was at the end of the game by James Franklin. Why would you hand it off on 4th and 6? And I realize there's a lot of people, you're not a coach, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, well maybe I don't, but why would you not keep it in the hands of Trace McSorley? McSorley, it's not as if he can't run. He's not Tom Brady back there. He's not just going to stand back like a statue. Put it in his hands. Have him try to figure it out. Why not try to dump it off to the running back if you want to do a screen pass or something like that. So I don't understand why you would do something like that in 4th and 6. But again, some of these things just make no sense to me. I think they overthink it. I think they're thinking, oh, there'll be something open or whatever. Put it in the hands of your best player. To me, McSorley is your best player on offense. I would have put it in his hands at the end. I just don't understand it. You guys know how much I love my smaller teams as well, so let me just point out my favorite small team of the week, and they're up and coming. And no, it's not UCF, because everybody knows about UCF, and that's fine. But it's in the same conference, Cincinnati Bearcats. Watch out for the Bearcats. They're 5-0. They actually play USF in, I think, either late October or early November. And then the week after that, they play UCF. So that's probably going to be for the American Conference Championship, I would think, or at least whoever's going to be in first place. I love the American Conference, one of my favorite smaller conferences, if you want to call it that, the non-Power 5, whatever you want to say. I think it's extremely competitive, and I love watching a lot of those games. So Cincinnati, 5-0. Luke Fickell, vilified at Ohio State when they went 6-6. Now he's 5-0 at Cincinnati. If and when Urban Meyer were to either be fired or step down, Fickell could be your guy instead of Ryan Day, right? So we'll see what happens. So Ohio State always seems to land on their feet. I think they would do it again with that. So let me leave you guys with this. My top 4 teams hasn't changed a whole lot. Not necessarily, well, certainly in this order. Alabama's number 1 by far. It's not even close. Anybody that, again, if you have not watched an Alabama game, just watch one. I'm not an Alabama fan. I'm just being honest. Watch a game. It's ludicrous. I mean, they destroy these teams. They played, I had mentioned this earlier, they played 6 running backs. I get it. It's Louisiana. And you're like, well, they played Louisiana. I don't care. I mean, they have 6 running backs that they played. I mean, I'm not even sure. I don't even think Notre Dame has 6 running backs. So it's amazing that they're able to even shuffle in that many guys in and out. And what's nuts is that most of the guys would start on another team. So, I think it was 49-0 at half. It's insane. They're just killing these teams. So Alabama's number 1. A lot of people are putting Ohio State 2. I guess I'd put Ohio State 2. That's fine. I think it's still got to see the body of work. Clemson probably I would put as 3, and you might either put either Notre Dame or Oklahoma at 4. I would not put LSU at 4 at this point. I would say Notre Dame's kind of similar to LSU, I guess, in some ways. But any of those three teams, LSU, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, they still got some stuff to prove. I would also say this for anybody that says that Notre Dame's schedule is easy and they don't play a ton of tough teams. Notre Dame has never played a 1AA or FCS opponent ever. I think there's only one other school, and that's Southern Cal, that has never played an FCS opponent either. So keep that in mind. They also played Ball State. Yes, it's a MAC team. I get it. But there's a lot of other teams, especially in the SEC, who are playing an FCS or a 1AA team, as well as a Sun Belt team. So to me, those are two FCS games right there. So I don't want to hear it about the no conference championship. I don't want to hear any of that stuff. It doesn't matter. So if Notre Dame played an FCS team, but they played a conference championship, it matters. I don't understand it. So I'm already starting to hear the whispering from people that Notre Dame only plays 12 games instead of 13. They don't play an FCS team, so that game's a wash anyway. So keep that in mind. All right, guys. Hope you enjoy the games this week.